Hi, my name is Robert Massioli, and today I'm going to guide you through the Hackathon app that Atlassian uses to run its quarterly tournament ShipIt. So the things I'm going to run you through today are how the actual Hackathon app works. I'm going to run through the different screens that make up parts of the Hackathon app in order, and then explain them all in a little bit of detail so that you, as ideally the facilitator of a hackathon or somebody that wants to start a hackathon and run it across your entire company, can use this app as well. So I'm going to start off with the hackathon's listing page. I'm going to move into the hackathon's dashboard, which you're going to become intimately familiar with as a facilitator. I'm then going to run through the hackathon summary, which is what users will look at when they're coming in to participate in your hackathon. I'm then going to jump into the voting app itself and sort of the welcome screen there, jump into the room selection and then round selection options, give a bit more detail there about how you as a facilitator can configure those. I'm then going to run into people actually getting a bunch of projects that they can vote on, and then preference. I call that the allocation screen. And then I'm going to jump you through like the actual ins and out of the view that voters get when they're seeing each individual team and how you can attach videos to those teams. I'm then going to run you through how they rank those projects against each other and submit those rankings. And then I'm going to jump you out to the leaderboard view so that once everybody's finished voting and putting in their preferences, you can lock the voting and see the results until finally we're going to demonstrate moving teams from one round into another so that you can have like a semi-final, grand final sort of experience in your hackathon tournament. And then we'll wrap it up. So this may be a long video, but I hope you're willing to come on this journey with me. I may eventually give links to the timestamps for when the different sections start in the area that you happen to be viewing this video. Let's go.
Right now, you're looking at the Robert Massioli development.atlassian.net site that I use for my app development. And I'm going to navigate to the hackathons list. So it's up here in the apps menu, and you click on hackathons. And when you get there, as it loads, you will see the list of all up and coming hackathons, plus all the previous hackathons that are in this ShipIt. So there are a couple of links. There's a link to the hackathon itself. If you open the More menu, you can see a link to the vote box and to the Manage App screen. Now, because you're a facilitator, that Manage link is going to be one that you click all the time. So let's go there now. This is your hackathon dashboard screen. This is the screen you're going to come to in order to view all your hackathon settings and update your room and round settings. You could see that this is your voting restrictions. You can set your voting restrictions to make it so that login is required or that login is optional, aka anonymous voting. We only really use anonymous voting for events that don't include people that are within your company, like maybe you're doing a user conference or something and you want all your users to actually vote. The users can play preferences in multiple rooms in the same round doesn't actually apply to preference votes, so we're probably going to remove that soon. If we go into the round and room settings, you can see that there's a drop-down that lets you select which room you're interested in. It's currently set to Hall of Justice. Be really, really careful when you get to that screen that you have selected the right room, like Sydney, for example, before you start making your settings changes. You don't want to accidentally update the settings for a room you didn't mean to. As a facilitator, one of the first things you're going to want to do is create a new room just for yourself. So let's do that now. Let's create a room called My New Room and then hit the Create button. That will save under the covers, and then if we open the drop down again, we'll see that My New Room has appeared. Ta-da! We can select it and we can see that only one round has been created for your new room. Its current status is inactive. And something that's really important to know is every time you create a new room in the Hackathon project, a new Jira component is made under the cover with room dash prefixing it to represent that component. So you can see that here in our list of components screen right now. Going back to our previous screen really quickly, it's worth talking about the other fields that you can set here. They are the round begins at field, the round ends at field, the teams per voter, and the live video URL. The begin and end fields are used to tell users when the rounds are supposed to start and stop, and the teams per voter field is used to set how many projects will each voter get out of all the possible projects in that round, and the live video URL field is used for displaying a link to voters that they should watch while they're voting, aka they get a live presentation. We'll see more about that soon. Now, if you look here, you'll see that round 1 is currently inactive. So let's go see what that looks like from a user's perspective. If you click on this hackathon summary link up the top, you'll go to what the users see. This page is the hackathon summary. It's got a go vote link. It's got a create your team link. It tells people what the screen is all about and it has a bit of information that describes a few pieces of details about the hackathon. Now, if you were to click the create your team link, that's a link for your participants to go and create their hackathon projects so that they can participate in the ShipIt. So we're just creating one now called My Great New Team, give it maybe a bit of a description, and then we create the project. Now that we've created that project, we'll just open it up in a new tab, and then we'll go to the Go Vote screen so we can see what a user sees when they go to this hackathon. So it loads, and then this is the welcome screen. It's got a logo, when the hackathon is going to happen, and how many days, hours, and minutes it is till then, plus a nice little link to the screen. And then if we go and select our room, oh, what's this? We've only got Sydney here. We don't have that new room we created. Why is that? Well, if we look at the issue we've got here, we can see that it doesn't actually have the room set to it. We actually have to put that room component that we created before on behalf of the room on this issue for the Hackathon app to recognize that this issue is part of that room. So now if we refresh this page, we can see that the room is present. So only rooms that have at least one team in them will show up on this screen to voters. And in that way, if you accidentally created a room on this random room settings page, you can hide it by not putting any teams in it. It's worth taking a minute to talk about the different statuses that a room within a round can be in. There's the inactive state, which means that voters can't actually participate in this round yet. It's sort of up and coming. There's the active state that you flick to when all the teams are in the round in that room, whereby people can start actually voting on those teams. And then when eventually, as we'll see later, you decide to lock the room and round so that nobody can vote anymore, it'll flick into those other states. For the rest of this demo, we're going to use the Sydney room to demonstrate the features of the Hackathon app. So we select Sydney, and we're going to quickly set it up as if round 1 was inactive, and it has maybe, 5 teams in it that each user will get allocated, and it won't have any live video URL because it's going to happen async, and we're going to set up our grand final, or round 2, to have 100 teams per voter. So even if there's only like 10 or 15 teams in there, all the projects will be assigned to all the users, and we'll put a Zoom link in as the live video URL. So if we go and look at what that looks like in the voting app, we can see that round 1 is inactive like we set it to, and so is round 2. Also, the dates that we set for both of them are accurate. Now, if we go back, let's imagine we want to make round 1 active and let people start voting on it. So we come back to the dashboard, set it to active, update it, go back to the voting app and refresh. And voila, we can now see that a person can go in and rank their presentations and that the round is active, which is great. So just before we go forward, let's point out a few other things about this screen. We've got the permalink button so that you can get a permanent link to this room in this hackathon. For each round, we have a status lozenge, which indicates that round 1 is active and round 2 is inactive. Other than that, there are just the 2 primary actions, rank my presentations and view my results, of which we're going to go now to rank my presentations. And here we go. We got our allocation. You can see that we've been allocated 5 projects, just like we set up inside of the Hackathon dashboard. These 5 projects are in a random order, and that random order that they're presented in is also the order that they're initially ranked in. So it's the job of the voter to change the ranking as they watch the videos to actually match their preferences. And what this means is that at every point in time, the user has a temporary vote that has already been placed in the system and will be counted if the time runs out. It means that no person that joins the hackathon will be unable to vote, or their vote will fail to be counted because they didn't hit some sort of final button. Now, what if the user didn't actually mean to join this round in some sort of room? Well, then they can have the option to remove their allocation, to remove their preferences from this hackathon. Now, They can only do this a few times, and the reason for that is that we don't want people to remove their preferences and then get new preferences and then remove preferences and get new preferences until they've got the preferences that they actually want. So we restrict the number of times they can do it to prevent re-rolling. We, however, are happy with our preferences, so we click cancel, and let's go view the first team we've been allocated and see what that looks like. So what you can see here is the team summary. We've got a video front and center. Now that's a YouTube video, which is why there's a nice embedded experience. If it's not a YouTube video, you'll still get a link to it, but you just won't get the nice view experience. We have a button to update the rank. We have an ability for people to comment anonymously on the ticket. Now, if you don't want to comment anonymously, you can just open up the link to the Jira ticket and make the comment yourself, just like this. From the Jira issue, the presenters can actually set a large number of fields, like the YouTube video link, the description, which team members are present. You can see what round and room it's in and refresh that if it's out of sync. You can even see a bunch of comments on the issue that have been made by the Hackathon bot itself. If we jump back to the team summary view, we can demonstrate the comment anonymously functionality. We open up the comment anonymously box, we leave our feedback and hit submit. And if we go back to the issue, we can see that feedback is now there. Jumping back to the team summary again, we can now start flicking through our projects as though we had watched the presentations. And when we get to the third project, we can see that it actually didn't provide a video link. So we encourage the person reviewing this to rank that accordingly, aka rank it low. So they can open that up, put it at the bottom, put that submission in, and we see that the rank is now the bottom rank. If we fast forward and pretended that we had watched all the presentations and that we'd been ranking as we went along, as we saw different things, we finally land in this final review of your preferences screen, where you can move your preferences up and down to just the right order that matches what you truly feel. And when you're done with that, you can click the Finish This Round button. Once you've finished ranking your own presentations, what you really want to do is view the results of this hackathon. When regular users land on this View the Results leaderboard, they won't get the option to lock this round. The only reason that I see this and why you will see this is because you're a project admin of this hackathon, aka you're a facilitator. That means you can click this Lock This Round button. So let's do that now. Now that you've locked the round, you'll notice that all the results aren't revealed yet. That's because if we refresh the hackathon dashboard, we can see that the current state is locked but private. And what that means is that you can see the results as a facilitator, but all of the people that aren't facilitators can't see the results yet because you have yet to reveal the results, which is what this screen is all about. So let's start doing that big reveal now. Now you may have this on a big screen and, ooh, look at that. 2 people tied for third. And then you reveal again, drum roll, exciting, exciting. Ooh, second place is the 11th hour. And last but not least, first place is, bam, team number 2. Congratulations everyone for participating in this hackathon. What is really important to note is that only when you revealed first place did all of your voters, aka the general public, be able to see the results for that round. That's when the round swapped back into locked but public. Now that voting is over, what we're going to want to do for this particular round is move all the projects that we consider to be the winners, which let's say it's the top 4 for this particular hackathon, onto the next round. And in order to do that, you need to go into each and every Jira issue and change the workflow status to move from round 1 to round 2. Unfortunately, there's no quick and easy way to get those list of projects. You have to do it one by one at the moment. So let's go do that now, and let's fast forward through it all. There we go. We've used the Jira workflow buttons on the issues to move all the top 4 projects into round 2. And if we refresh the leaderboard, we can see that the results still stay, right? We still get the winners represented, even though they're no longer even in that round anymore. Now that we've done all that legwork, I think it's time to make round 2 active so that people can go vote in that round. So there we go, we've made round 2 active. We've got our Zoom link and our teams per user set to 100. So we just give as many teams as possible to every person that wants to present. We refresh the round selection page and we can see all of a sudden round 2 is active. So let's go join this round. And there you go. We've been allocated a new set of teams. We've got the live video up the top with the amount of time left until the live video starts. This is the example you get if it's not a YouTube video, but if it's a YouTube video, you get a first-class experience like before. People can rank their selections while they're watching the live video. As an aside, you might be wondering why that project 7 showed up, even though I didn't demonstrate it moving into round 2. That's just because it was already in round 2 in Jira. See? 7 is in round 2. And that's it. Now people just participate in round 2 in much the same way that they participated in round 1. They watch the live video, they rank the projects accordingly, you lock the round, reveal the results, and that's it. Congratulations, your grand final is over and you have successfully run a hackathon. Nice work.
And that's it. Congratulations. You are now an expert at running hackathons using the Atlassian Hackathon app. I hope you have a lot of fun running your own hackathon, and if you have any questions, just please send them my way. Good luck!